What's up, YouTube? Robbie Rambles back again, and today we are talking about the purchase of a new piece of hardware, the Frag rack. Now, as you know, I set out on this journey to test whether or not the Reef Casa Studio 12-gallon was really an all-inclusive starter kit. One of the criteria specifically had to do with adding any hardware to the tank. And since the Frag rack is technically a piece of hardware, does that mean we failed the challenge and can now deem the tank incomplete? Of course not. I think it's fairly obvious that as you progress in this hobby, you're always going to want to spend money on the tank, whether it's through upgrades, cool new tech, or just something that you think will create a better experience for your animals. The Frag rack falls into the category of creating a better environment and long-term longevity for my corals. And while I don't believe this purchase was entirely necessary, I think it's helped with further acclimating tricky or stubborn corals into the tank. Ideally, you would have a quarantine tank for this process, but on a budget and with limited space, this serves its own unique purpose. For example, one of the most stubborn corals I've purchased was a group of King Midas zoas. They opened on day one, then closed for weeks. Since having them on the Frag rack, and despite almost giving up on them several times, they have just recently started opening up, a full month after they were initially purchased. Without the Frag rack and being able to move them to a more optimal lighting spot in the tank, I'm not so sure they would have survived. But is this the tank's fault? No, it's just part of the hobby. Most of the corals in the Frag rack are ready to be placed in the rockwork, where they will hopefully flourish and begin to expand. The purple people eaters have never shown signs of closing, and I actually have the perfect place in mind for them. The dragon's eyes, which were closed for 2 weeks after I got them, have since been open for weeks, and are also ready to find a spot in the rockwork, though these ones I haven't figured out exactly where that is yet. As for the King Midas, once they remain open for more than a week, I will consider finding them a new place to live and removing them from the Frag rack. The eventual plan, as I start to slow down on adding new corals to the tank, is to remove it completely. Maybe it makes another appearance in the future, or maybe it remains in storage, but either way, this piece of equipment has proven to be a useful addition to my tank, and maybe for yours too. Before I tease the next video, I do want to take note of a piece of hardware I've expected to have to buy, but have yet to. One that I believe would cause our complete starter kit status to be revoked, though in reality is one of the most common pieces of equipment in the hobby. A wave maker. Well, I'm very impressed with the power that our little pump produces, opting to purchase either a wave maker or a random flow nozzle, or even both, could be in our future. Don't get me wrong, our corals and even our fish are doing very well in the tank, despite not having either of these pieces of equipment. However, our anemone still remains closed, and I can't help but wonder if more flow would help bring it back to its full glory. Does purchasing a new piece of hardware to specifically try and save a single member of our tank really mean the tank failed? Or does it maybe mean I failed the tank by trying to put something in it that couldn't properly thrive without added equipment? Perhaps a debate for another video. Speaking of another video, I'm going to be holding off on my fish video, and instead focusing on a more recent issue I've encountered. Aptasia. Yes, we have the dreaded aptasia in our tank, and in the next video we attempt to eliminate it through the use of another life form. Until then, however, thank you to everyone for watching this series. I truly appreciate you all and can't thank you enough for your patience. Getting videos out with 3 kids and a full-time job can be challenging, but I'll continue to do my best to keep everyone updated on this project. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.